Good morning, YouTube. All right, you know what you need when you got a lot to do, a family to feed, and not much time? You want a casserole. This one is cheesy chicken spaghetti and perfect. You're gonna love this dish. All right, let's cook, y'all. We got a family to feed. All right, we're gonna start our casserole. I've been in a casserole mood lately, if y'all can't tell. Okay, so we've got, oh, Joseph. About 2.5 cups of chicken broth right here. And I have 1 pound of spaghetti I just broke into pieces. And this is step one. It's real complicated. So all we're doing here is taking the liquid that we would put into our casserole, and we're using it for the noodles. Whoops, one just went flying. We're using it for the noodles, which will make the liquid nice and starchy, and the noodles will absorb that flavor from the chicken broth. Now, if you don't have chicken broth, don't worry too much about it. You can use milk, you can use water, you can use plain old bouillon. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you. It's all going to taste good. It's kind of funny. Let me set the timer for our noodles. We were at the big warehouse store where we do our grocery shopping, and we were looking at the canned goods, and Boone walked over and picked up a case of cream of chicken and a case of cream of mushrooms. And I looked at him and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I like casseroles." Yep. And Joey's pointing too. He agrees. All right, so I set the timer on this for 10 minutes. You don't want them to go mushy because they're going to cook in the oven. So just until they're al dente, that's where you want to take it, right? So I'll probably actually go for 9 minutes here. All right, we'll be back. All right, I got a comment from the peanut gallery, which is behind me. And his name is Joseph, and he just mentioned that the Italians in the comment section are going to flame me because I broke my pasta. Well, I got a couple things to say to that. First of all, I don't think you should say that about Italians. I like them. They've all been nice. And B, I don't claim to be Italian or to make any kind of authentic Italian anything. I'm not doing that. I'm making an American casserole, which is a different thing entirely. And so I don't think any Italians are going to come for me. And if they do, you want to know what I'm going to say to them? You want to come eat?
They're not going to want to come eat your broken pasta.
They are too. Okay, you may still hear the peanut gallery stomping around in the background behind me because he's wearing his work boots, which have 3-inch heels on them. So he's very enamored of the entire greater height process thing that we have happening. Okay, so I added just a touch of water to my noodles because they got dry. No big deal. All right, I'm adding 2 cans, whoops, of cream of chicken. You can use cream of mushroom if you want to. Layden happens to have like massive hissy fits if he thinks there's a mushroom on anything. So I bow to the mushroom issues. Sometimes. I sneak a lot of mushrooms and stuff. He's been eating mushrooms his entire life, and he swears he can always tell, but he can't. He just can't. But I get cream of chicken, so why not? Okay, so you're just mixing. All right, we're gonna do a whole bunch of additives to this. All right, number 1, about a cup of peas, and they're still frozen. You missed the Joey cooking show that went on behind me with leftover chicken and a cup of mac and cheese in the microwave. All right, 1 bell pepper, use whatever color you have. It's about half an onion. And if you have pimentos, great. I didn't, I just had about a 1/4 cup of roasted red peppers in a jar. And I'm gonna run out of room in my skillet, which I know I am. But at this point, you're just mixing it. And I have a whole bunch of cheese. Oh, you know what I'm about to leave out of there, Joseph?
What?
The chicken.
Chicken. You add it?
Yep.
It's cold chicken.
It is cold chicken. So I did a lot of shopping at the warehouse clubs, and the prices on proteins are less than you're gonna find just about anywhere. And of course, most of the time I'm cooking for enough people that it's no big deal. We go through it, but sometimes I end up with a lot of stuff to use up. Now, if you're getting to the end of a package of protein and it's coming to its date, one thing you can get a couple more days out of it is if you cook it. And then you got another couple days to figure out what you're gonna do with it, right? And so that's what I did with chicken. I had a giant package of chicken breast. Okay, now this is gonna go into our 9x13 casserole dish, which I just sprayed it with some cooking spray. You don't have to. I'm actually kind of amazed that I remembered to do that. I never remember to do stuff like that. All right, this is where we're gonna overflow our casserole dish. So I had a 32-ounce package of cheese. I'm using half of it. So in theory, I've got 16 ounces of cheese that I shredded, and then I divided it up. So I've got about 2/3 of it on this plate, and about 1/3 of it over there on the other plate, minus whatever Joey hijacked to put in his leftover chicken mac and cheese combo situation he was making, which could have been much worse. It can always be worse if there is a teenage boy with an appetite. They will eat anything. They're like Wolverines. They're just like rabid. Feed me. Okay. Let's scoot this way a little bit. Oh, hello. There we go. Ta-da. Okay. Now we're gonna mix our majority of our cheese in, and I realize that's not the best tool for that. Apparently it's a great tool for slinging it on your counters. So we're just gonna mix it in like this. Now, when the pasta was cooking, I salted the water a little. This is just plain old regular cream of chicken. It's not low sodium. So you want to be a little bit judicious here. And kind of see where your seasoning level is. Oh no, that's fine. You don't want to add any more. No, I don't. All right, so we're just mixing in our cheese. I just had an idea. You know, it'd be really good in this. It's a bunch of sour cream. I might try that next time. Putting a couple of cups of sour cream. Of course, now I also have an amount that would feed the Mongolian army, so, you know, here's that. I do tend to cook in large batches. All right, here's the last of the cheese, and we're gonna leave this on top. It kind of, sort of, forms a crust-ish. Pretty sure nobody's ever said that's too cheesy. All right, and then the last thing we're gonna do real quick, hang on, bear with me, is a piece of foil. Now, I know from experience that if you do not, hang on, if you do not spray your foil with cooking spray, you'll go to take the foil off and your cheese will all stick to the foil. And that's one of those things where I've said, I usually forget stuff like that. Well, I usually forget stuff like that. So it's kind of a miracle that I've remembered not only to spray my baking pan, but also the foil. Okay, going into a 350-degree oven for 45 minutes. Then we're gonna uncover it just for 10 minutes to let that cheese melt all the way through. All right, here we go, 45 minutes. Ooh, look at that. All right, we're just gonna go back in long enough to get the cheese nice and toasty. Real quick, that's also why we spray the foil. All right, check this out. I gave it 15 minutes. Oh gosh, that's heavy. You can hear it. It says, I'm delicious. I'm full of broken pasta and nobody cares. Let this rest for a few minutes. Otherwise, it'll just take its oozy goodness all over the place, which, you know, that's not the worst thing that can happen. Oh my God, so good, y'all. Make that right now. Right now.